Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, hope you all had a great weekend first of all. And next of all, I want to say tomorrow's event we have going on could be one of the most impactful events for your account, period. So, the event is going to be a free gear removal, 100% silver reduction on swapping artifacts and accessories. So, if you just want to remove the gear on somebody or swap it around, it's going to be no cost. You don't have to use any of the removal items in your inventory, nothing like that. You just get free gear removal for 96 hours, so 4 days. That's incredible. Now, during this event, you can just ignore it and no changes happen, or you could use the aligning of the stars with CVC, Sand Devil Tournament, and the Spider Tournament to really make some massive changes in your account. Now, if you have 10 million silver like me, this is an issue we have to address, which is going to be addressed by dealing with the Spider Turn Attack Tournament. Now, with personal CVC going on alongside this, which CVC is going to end tomorrow, so to capitalize, you need to do this today and tomorrow. We have the free gear removal going past that, but as far as the farming and upgrading gear, you're going to want to go ahead and do that. So with CVC, let's look at the objectives and specifically in Spider. Now, Spider Stage 10 Hard is going to give us 400 CVC points per 10 hard victory, whereas Stage 25 is going to be 300. Now, if we look at how much energy Spider runs cost, we can see, okay, each one's going to be 20 energy. This has got super raids turned on, but 20 energy there. And then on normal difficulty, it also is 20 on stage 25. Now, stage 10 hard of Spider, you can trio it. So 3 champions and 2 food champions. You can probably duo it. I forget what champions can duo it, but I know for sure on stage 9, you could solo. Now, this doesn't directly correlate into, changing your account with tomorrow's event, but I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I just want to help you guys with a little bit more efficiency if you want to do that, if you want to level food. But if not, I would just go to Spider Stage 10 Hard, get the extra CVC points. Me personally, I'm going to try to push to 400,000 CVC points-ish so I can get into Tier 6 personal rewards. Whether we win or lose this CVC, I want to be there for future CVCs. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Spider Stage 10 Hard. I'll just use a speed team and get through it pretty quickly. In doing this, Spider is one of the best places to farm to get the pieces, the accessories, to actually sell them for silver. Now, as far as the accessories that drop from Spider, if you're later in the game, you're probably not using much Spider accessories. You have Stone Skin, you have Lethal, that's what it's called, right? You have, well, not Lethal, what is it? Feral. You have Feral, Stone Skin, Pinpoint, you have Protection, you have so many more. Slayer, Merciless, Supersonic. So there's so many accessories that I'm even forgetting all of them. So basic Spider accessories are, for a lot of players who are late in the game, just kind of being phased out, honestly. So basically everything you get here is going to be sold. Of course, if you get like a 6-star mythical banner with speed on it, yeah, that could be a pretty good piece for some champions. But like this, it could be decent, but other pieces are just going to be better. So all this stuff I'm going to sell. This is going to help me get some more silver. But also, on top of that, you're limited by energy. So if you don't have enough energy, you're not going to have very much silver. You can also visit the clan shop and pick up some silver here, which is an extra easy 5 million silver. I will be doing that later on. But also what you can do, and something I very much recommend you doing, is coming in here and some of these lesser quality sets that you're really just not going to use, like Resilience being the main one, just forge a bunch of it and then come in here and sell every bit of it. Now, if you have like a 6-star legendary and you want to roll it to see if you hit speed or something, go for it. But most of these pieces, I'm just going to come in here. It's a very easy way to collect a good chunk of silver with just a few clicks of the mouse. Or taps on your screen, whatever. It's pretty daggone easy. And with perception gear, if you have a ton of resources from doing faction wars, then you're going to have a ton of perception actually forge, and you don't have to keep every piece of perception that may work. Like there's eventually going to come a time, like for my account, for example, where I'm not really keeping many things. Like double roll speed is like the bare minimum, but to be honest, I have so many perception pieces with double roll speeds and even triple roll speeds that I just really probably just gonna be looking for triple roll speeds and most of this stuff. I'm gonna be very strict on it. So look at your forge, come in here, forge a bunch of stuff and sell it very strictly. Also come in here, and if you want today, even tomorrow, before you go into the re-gearing your champions, start cleansing some of your gear. You definitely have some gear you can get rid of without a doubt. Clear some of the gear, open up some space for forging new stuff and getting some new stuff in there. And also, so you're not equipping your champions tomorrow with low quality, mediocre gear. That's going to be how you can make some silver and get yourself upgraded the gear in a spot to put it on the champions who you want to build. I have a few notes here I'll share with you guys. So PRCBC, farm some silver, and spider, and forge a lot of stuff. Now, we also have a Sand Devil tournament going on, which is awesome because Sand Devil is going to give us the oil and the dust that we need to, when we go to rebuild the champions tomorrow, maybe we want to have a defense-based nuker. So we're going to want, say, crit damage or even defense percentage on a pair of gloves. So we're going to just try to re-roll that or roll up some gloves until we hit that. So for my account, for example, real quickly, let's go to crit damage. Maybe this piece right here isn't great for a, it's not a great pair of gloves right now. But say you're very limited on crit damage gloves or something along those lines. If this was to roll crit rate, maybe you could fit it on somebody. If it was to roll defense percentage, this is like a really bad example. But some pieces, even if they don't have great rolls, the Ascension can make them actually worth it. This is kind of obvious with gloves, but it's much, much more obvious with boots. If you have a pair of boots that roll speed, I don't care what it is. If it's a 6-star pair of boots and it rolls speed, it is instantly valuable. It could be horrible substats, but it just instantly becomes valuable. Remember, these champions that we're going to be gearing tomorrow aren't necessarily, though they could be, your top of your line champions. These champions are more so going to be champions going like Curse City, champions going to Faction Wars, champions who you're trying to get some stuff on there to where they can function in their roles, but they don't have to be top of the line. They're just good enough that you can throw them into content, not to worry about, oh, are they geared? Are they naked? Are they missing 2 pieces of gear? Even though I recently rebuilt my Helior, I moved this stuff around because other champions took priority over him. Uko's missing some stuff, so I need to come in here and do a refresh, and that may be moving some gear off of other champions. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but I do need to refresh these champions. So doing some Sand Devil for the oil, doing Spire Turn Attack for the silver, but with all this, you're selling stuff, you're making silver, you're getting these rewards, and then when it comes to actually tomorrow and executing on rebuilding these champions, taking advantage of that free gear removal, what you're going to want to do is get an idea of the champs today that you want to rebuild. A list of, say, 10 or 20, or just do what I've been doing and go by the types of champions. Break it down because there's a lot of champions I could rebuild, or a lot of champions I need to build. Like if I click down here, I still have a lot of people who just not built. Like Ninja, no, not Ninja. I'm not actually sure where I want to use him. His current build isn't really great. I've mixed him up in a few different areas. I would kind of like to come in here and min-max this. There's a few champions who I want to get back into soloing dungeon content who I've removed from their solo builds for testing them for other videos. Now, I know most of you probably don't have this issue, but like Crypt King Grawl, I don't use him. He's typically just a vault champion. But I was using him for a video, and I broke some other champions to get him in the correct build. So I need to get this back onto probably my Nishak for duoing or soloing Dragon, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But I need to come through here and check all these champions and re-gear the people who I'm not using. Also, with all the changes in Hydra, a lot of players probably aren't using the same champions they were before. For me, for example, I'm probably going to mix up some stuff. Actually, my teams are okay. Well, actually, I need to rebuild my hard team. This is my current hard team, which doesn't even have a label, so it's not anything that impactful. I need to rebuild this. So I can come in here, switch some champion builds, and move them around. But as far as the types that I was talking about, and especially if you're going to be forging while you do this, of course you can forge tomorrow. The only reason why I'm saying forge today is so you can break it up into chunks. If you come in here and rebuild champions for like an hour, you're going to get quite a bit of champions knocked out. And when it comes to rebuilding them, if you don't want to like waste your brain power actually rebuilding these champions, I'll show you what you can do. Assuming you have access to PC client, makes it so much easier. Get the Hell Hades optimizer. I'm trying to open it up right now. It's initializing. Once it opens up, we'll be good to go and ready to roll. Let's see it pop up. Here we go. So say I want to do attack-based champions. Well, coming out here, my Georgia actually could use a rebuild because I don't really use them in any content, and I kind of need to adjust it. But say we wanted to rebuild Mashald. Mashald actually has some unique new uses in Hydra, and the way he works is actually kind of cheating the Hydra. But maybe I'll get into that in a different video. But say I wanted to use him in Hydra actually seriously. Well, I don't want to move gear from my other champions because everybody else is in a pretty good spot, but I want to get him in a good damage dealing build for, say, mid-tier Hydra, maybe brutal, maybe hard, not for sure which one, but I want him to be 250 speed. Well, I don't want to remove gear from anybody. I would like for him to be in Savage or Lethal, but let's say Savage, because Lethal would probably take some stuff from champions who would be a little bit better suited for, you know, having that higher tier gear on them. So with this Mashal build is garbage. I don't want this Mashal build. Maybe I drop his stats down a little bit lower. But if it's a champion who you don't care as much about which set they're in, just go based on the max damage. Actually, matter of fact, we could do Hydra here. Hydra rotation doesn't matter which one. We'll go brutal. Actually, he'd be on hard, honestly, if I was to use him. But then just not even optimizing around a specific set, just getting them to function in, say, Curse City or Faction Wars. You don't typically need Savage, Lethal, Cruel. Actually, Instinct is a great set for those champions who are in Curse City, those champions who are in Faction Wars, because you don't need them to do the top of the line damage, but you still want them doing good damage and having good speed. Those stats aren't always easy to hit. But this, for example, we have Merciless. I don't really want him in Merciless. That's a little bit too high for him. But if I don't need these pieces, maybe he could do that. I mean, I don't have it on anybody else. Though Merciless for him isn't great because he gets plenty of extra turns and all that kind of stuff anyway, so I'm not going to put that on him. Another good thing to do is to come in here and upgrade some of your pieces. If you're going to use the optimizer, it usually doesn't include pieces that aren't upgraded, especially like your accessories. It will include them, but it doesn't know what it's going to roll, of course, right? Like this piece could be amazing or it could be not that good. Granted, it is 5-star. It's probably going to be not that good anyways. So yeah, it rolled poorly. So it wouldn't be used to begin with. Let's say it was 6-star, 6-star banner sitting with speed. Well, the optimizer sees it as it could be amazing or it could be useless, but it's not been rolled, so it's not even going to include it. But if I had it roll, say quad roll into speed, now that's a game-changing banner. Actually, let's see if the quad rolls HP percentage. Okay, it didn't, but I kind of want to rework this. There's no speed on it. And the triple roll HP percentage on Undead Horde, who would use this? Defense, HP percentage, nobody. Let's see if I can rework into something good. Speed. Oh, that's not good. Sometimes reworks go horrible, and sometimes they go really well, but there was no speed on that, and it's going to make it kind of difficult to use. Maybe it was a good idea. Maybe it wasn't. Actually, it definitely wasn't, because I just now sold my only banner that I had in Feral for Undead Horde. So, not the best idea, but sometimes making decisions and doing a video at the same time, there's just something that does not work for me, guys. But ultimately, I just want to share this with you guys. During CVC, if you make the most of it, get to foraging, farm Sandoval, farm Spider, get your points, spend some time tomorrow gearing specific champions, and best of luck in your CVC. And remember, even if you don't win this one and you want to get into the next tier for future potential victories, now's the best time to actually push that, because if you end up going low on points, well, you're going to fall down tiers like I have. I've fallen down to 5, but I was previously in some lower tiers. So just something to keep in mind. Best of luck in your push, guys. Our CVC is a little bit skewed because we're missing a few people. So good luck, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.